You already know what it is. Great Man and God Media TV back with another reaction video. This time, I'm going to be reacting to Lord Jamar, who is actually reacting to KRS-One, who claims that if it wasn't for the contribution of Puerto Ricans, hip hop would not exist. So I'm going to react to Lord Jamar's rebuttal of KRS-One, and here we go. So let's just get it started because this is an interesting topic. I definitely want to hear what Lord Jamar has to say and give you guys my thoughts. Here we go.
You know what I mean? I got niggas 2-3 years older than me talking about, you were not old enough to know what was going on. You weren't there. Shut the fuck up. Who cares? Who cares if I was there or not? Were you there when your mother and father fucked? Huh? How do you know that's your mother and father?
Right.
How do you know that that's your mother and father? You going by their word? Because you wasn't there.
Yeah.
I'll tell you how you know. You know how we determine parentage?
DNA, I guess.
Through DNA, motherfucker.
Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay.
Through DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I look at the DNA of hip-hop, when I look at the double helix of hip-hop, oh, what I see is soul music, funk music. I see people that, parents that might have come up in the South who moved to the North, specifically the New York City area, and whose children came up in that post-Civil War, not Civil Rights, not Civil War, that post-Civil Rights era with that Northern attitude, that attitude that was like, motherfucker, I wish I was around during slavery times. I wouldn't have let motherfuckers with me. Like when Roots came out when we was young, niggas was like, I wish a nigga would. That's the energy that birthed hip-hop. Those kids that watched Roots and all that type of shit. That's the energy that birthed hip-hop, bro. And that's the DNA you see all in hip-hop. And so we hear it musically with the type of samples that we choose or chose to play at that time, with the break beats that we chose at the time. But we also...
Keyword, break beats. Keyword. So, yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, KRS-One said in a speech, I'm not exactly sure where he was when he said this, but KRS referenced that if it wasn't for the Puerto Ricans, hip-hop would not exist, right? And when I heard that, I was kind of looking side-eye, like, what is he talking about? The Puerto Ricans. Yeah, they contributed to hip-hop. I would say non-blacks, right? And if you want to go really, really technical, non-FBA, foundational Black Americans, non-FBAs contributed to hip-hop, yes, but they aren't the architects. They're not the originators, right, of hip-hop. But what Lord Jamar mentioned, breakbeats, I'll give you one. And that's the most popular, most used breakbeat in hip-hop history. And that is by this group right here, the Winston Brothers, right? The Winstons, which has a track, a breakbeat called the Amen Break, right? This is the most sampled record in hip-hop history. There's no other record that's been sampled more than this. This is the architect. This is the foundation of where hip-hop started, is this record right here. So who are the Winstons? The Winstons is a foundational Black American, if you want to get technical, right, band from the 70s. I believe from the 60s or 70s, right? That's where they started. And they were basically in the soul, funk, R&B genre at that time. Okay? So there you go. That pretty much proves and debunks anything that KRS-One said about Puerto Ricans contributed or was helped hip hop the way it is today. Again, yes, they contributed to hip hop, but they're not the architects. They're not the originators of this shit. All right. There's not one record that anybody, a DJ Kool Herc, right? Grandmaster Fast and the Furious Five, the originators of the groups from New York, all these breakbeat DJs that came up in the 70s, they were sampling Puerto Rican records. They weren't. Hip hop, yes, started in New York. DJ Kool Herc, who is Jamaican, and he is non-FBA because he was born in Jamaica, Kingston, I believe. He was using American or FBA soul sample records, the Winstons, the James Browns of the world, right? The list goes on. Sammy Davis Jr. List goes on. They were using breakbeats from foundational Black Americans, soul R&B artists, not Puerto Ricans. So I just wanted to point that out because he mentioned, Lord Jamar mentioned breakbeats, but let's continue.
Hear it in the language, okay? We see the DNA of the 5% nation very much inside of hip hop, with terms like peace and cipher and God and son and you know what I mean?
Right. Exactly.
All kinds of shit. We see the DNA, but nowhere do you see the DNA of Puerto Rican culture. Puerto Rican culture.
Right.
I'm not talking about Puerto Rican individuals. I'm talking about Puerto Rican culture.
Right.
Jamaican culture. Those things did not influence hip hop, regardless of how official motherfuckers sound saying it. I'm sorry. I hate to hurt your heart that the thing that you adore and love is something that Black American youth created. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that hurts your heart for some reason. I don't know why it hurts you so much. But this is a fucking fact.
Right.
No one said y'all wasn't there. No one said you wasn't there. Sure, you were there. But if I'm building a house and you watch me build a house, does that mean you built it too?
Nah.
No.
Nah, not at all.
When the doctor births a baby, is the doctor the father or the mother of the child because it was present at the time of birth?
Nah.
No. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. Like, only the people that were there during conception are the parents. Okay? So, all of this shit about we were there, yeah, you were there. But there's a difference between a creator and a participator.
Facts. 100%. I agree with Lord Jamar 100%. Even with his group, Brand Nubian, right? You see the influence of Nation of Islam, the Nation of Gods and Earths, right? The 5%ers. That's New York foundational Black American influence from that culture, right? That's hip hop. And so, again, there is no mass anything from the Puerto Rican culture that's contributed to hip hop. When y'all talk about 5 elements of hip hop, because we're talking about KRS-One, he's the one that actually, I believe he's the one that coined that phrase, the 5 elements of hip hop, right? So you got DJing, MC, graffiti, breakdancing, and MCing, right? Yeah, so you got DJ, breakdancing, MCing, graffiti, and knowledge. Because I think I said the same thing twice, but My point is that Puerto Ricans contributed to a few of the elements of hip hop in masses. You got a lot of Puerto Rican or non-FBA MCs, right? A lot of them contributed into graffiti, right? Breakdancing, and even DJing, right? So, yeah, you do have a lot of them in the cusp of hip hop and how it started. But again, they did not invent any of these things. They did not architect any of these things in hip hop. You know, just like Lord Jamar said, nobody's denying the fact that they were there. They were there. The non-FBAs were there. But the point is that y'all didn't architect this shit. Y'all didn't create this shit. We did. And nobody sampled any records from y'all culture as much as we did for FBAs, right? So yeah, that's what it is, man. You know, that's what it is. It's and knowledge of self too. You got, you know, part of the damn elements of hip hop is knowledge. Knowledge of self. That's where it starts. And when you talk about knowledge of self, that is a cultural term or influence from, like I said, from those genres or school of thoughts, I should say, from New York, the Five Percenters, the Nation of Gods and Earths, right? The so-called conscious community, right? From that elk is where you get those schools of thoughts from. Okay, Nation of Islam, so and so on and so forth. Hebrew Israelites, right? So on and so forth. So that's where you get that from. Okay, but like I said, those are. I agree with Lord Jamar 100% about where hip hop came from, and the true originators of hip hop is us, right? Foundational Black Americans, but. Let me know your thoughts down below, family. Do you agree with Lord Jamal's rebuttal to KRS-One? Do you agree with KRS-One that indeed Puerto Ricans contributed so heavily to hip hop that if it wasn't for them, they wouldn't exist? Let me know down below in the comment section, family. And make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. I need the algorithm to help me boost my channel. Got to get 10K subs before the end of this year. Till next time, family, signing out.